All right, lads, gather around, because today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and a bit cheeky. We're talking about attractiveness, those subtle signs that you might just be a bit of a catch. And no, I'm not talking about having perfectly sculpted cheekbones or a jawline that can cut diamonds. I am referring to that unique quality, that aura, that undeniable, I'm not sure what it is, that makes you, well, attractive. Today, we're breaking down 7 undeniable signs that prove you're a beautiful man. Stay tuned, because you might just find out that you've been underestimating yourself all along. Let's get into it. Now, I know what you're thinking. James, if a woman is a bit flustered around me, doesn't that mean she fancies a swift exit, not a date? And look, sometimes you're right, but more often than not, a little bit of nervous energy is a good sign. Think about it. When we fancy someone, we get a bit awkward, right? We fumble our words. We can't seem to find a comfortable way to stand. We might even start narrating what we're doing in our heads, like we're in a documentary. Right hand on the hip? No, too much. Maybe just a casual lean. It's a whole thing. So, if you notice a woman fidgeting with her hair, adjusting her clothes, or even, dare I say, checking her reflection in a nearby window when you're around, pay attention. She might be trying to make sure she's looking her best because, well, you've got her a bit flustered. And here's another telltale sign, the quick glance away. You know the one. You catch her eye across the room and she immediately darts her eyes away like she was caught doing something naughty. That, my friend, is not rejection, it's intrigue. So next time you notice a woman acting a bit differently around you, don't assume the worst. Now, attractiveness isn't just about how women react to you, it's also about the vibes you give off to other guys. It's a primal thing, really. Think of it like a pack of wolves. There's always a hierarchy, a subtle dance of dominance and respect. Have you ever noticed that some guys, when you're around, they get a bit competitive, they puff out their chests, try to one-up your stories, maybe even throw in a backhanded compliment or two? That's because they see you as a potential threat, someone who challenges their position in the pack. On the other hand, some men might show you a different kind of respect, a quiet acknowledgement, a nod of the head, a genuine interest in what you have to say. They see you as someone with high status, someone worth learning from. So, if you notice men reacting to your presence, whether it's through competition or respect, take it as a compliment. It means you're doing something right. All right, let's talk about those women who, instead of swooning at your feet, seem to, well, enjoy poking the bear a bit. Now, I'm not talking about outright rudeness, but rather a playful kind of challenge. Attraction isn't always obvious, you see. Sometimes it comes wrapped in a sassy remark or a raised eyebrow. Ever had a woman tease you mercilessly? Roll her eyes at your jokes, even if they're secretly hilarious? Act unimpressed by your accomplishments, even if you just rescued a kitten from a tree? Don't panic, lads, this is not rejection, it's a test. She's testing your confidence, your wit, and your ability to hold your own. It's like she's saying, all right, Mr. Charming, show me what you've got. For example, she might say something like, oh, you think you're smooth, don't you? Or, I bet you say that to all the girls. Don't get defensive, don't back down. Instead, tease her back, show her you can take a joke, that you're confident in who you are. Do not forget that women do not waste time experimenting with men they do not find interesting. Before we proceed further, kindly locate the subscribe button to support this channel. Ever get that feeling like you're being watched? No, not in a creepy stalker in the bushes kind of way. I'm talking about those subtle glances, those lingering looks that you catch out of the corner of your eye. You might be at a coffee shop minding your own business and you notice a woman across the room making eye contact, then quickly looking away when you catch her. Or maybe you're walking down the street and people seem to, shall we say, part like the Red Sea when you approach. Now, I'm not saying you have some sort of Jedi mind trick going on, but attractive men, they have a certain presence and energy that draws people in. It could be your posture, the way you carry yourself, or even just the twinkle in your eye. People are naturally drawn to what they find aesthetically pleasing, and sometimes they can't help but sneak a peek. So if you notice people unintentionally staring at you, embrace it. Now, I'm not saying that being attractive means you get to skip the queue at the DMV or anything, but let's just say that good looks can sometimes come with a few perks. Ever notice that waitresses seem to be a little bit friendlier, a little bit quicker, to bring you your drink when you're looking particularly dashing, or that bartenders, amidst the chaos of a Saturday night, seem to magically remember your order, even if you've only been there once. And then there are the random conversations with strangers. You're just standing there, minding your own business, when suddenly someone strikes up a conversation. Maybe they ask you for directions, even though they're clearly holding a map. Maybe they inquire about the book you're reading, even if it's something incredibly dull. These are not coincidences, my friend. These are the subtle advantages of being an attractive man. All right, lads, this next sign is a bit of a head-scratcher, but trust me on this one. Have you ever been in a situation where a woman, someone you haven't even spoken to, seems to be giving you the cold shoulder? She might be acting distant, maybe even a bit irritated, and you're left thinking, what on earth did I do? Well, the answer might surprise you. Sometimes, when you're a good-looking chap, women get a bit miffed if you don't give them the attention they feel they deserve. It's not about being arrogant or entitled. It's just that when you're used to a certain level of attention, it can be a bit jarring when someone seems oblivious to your charms. Now, how this manifests can vary. Some women might try to reclaim your attention by laughing a little louder, talking a little more animatedly, or even strategically positioning themselves within your line of sight. If you're at a party and a woman seems to be making a beeline for you, even if you haven't so much as glanced in her direction, it could be a sign that she's not too pleased with your lack of attention, but hey, that's the game of attraction for you. Let's be honest, there's a certain aura that follows attractive people around, a kind of unspoken assumption that they have a very active dating life. Even if you're as single as a Pringle left at the bottom of the can, people just assume that you've got options, and lots of them. Have you ever had someone, usually after finding out you're single, utter the phrase, "I bet you have tons of girls in your DMs"? Or maybe they'll say something like, "You probably break hearts for breakfast," with a mixture of envy and admiration in their voice. This, my friend, is what we call pre-selection. It's the idea that people are more likely to find you attractive if they believe that others already do. It's like social proof, but for your dating life. So even if you're not out there juggling dates every night of the week, the mere perception that you could be is enough to increase your attractiveness in the eyes of others. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts. So there you have it, lads, 7 undeniable signs that you might be a highly attractive man. And the best part is attractiveness isn't just about looks, it's about presence, confidence, and the way you carry yourself. If you've noticed these signs in your daily life, chances are you're more attractive than you think. And if you haven't, well, now's the time to step up your game. Work on your confidence, body language, and social awareness, and watch how people start to respond differently to you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and support this channel by leaving a comment below with the sign you have seen in your life.